Okay, what are we looking at today?
Today, Dan, we are looking at something from Softube. It's the new Softube Drawmer 1976, which is the Softube modelled version of their hardware multi-band saturator.
Well, let's find out. Is it?
We're back.
I've noticed that the Taz are getting more accentuated there on the intros.
Sometimes.
Some.
You rarely hear them. They're normally surrounded in, a load of echo. All of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good theme tune, that.
Good theme tune.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so shall we take a look?
We should take a look, yes. So Softube and Drawmer, they've done the 1973. They did the cut down version of the 73, and now they're doing the 1976, which is, as I said, it's a multi-band saturator. So everyone's into the saturation thing these days, aren't they? It's
what have you lost? Your glasses.
I need my pins, otherwise I can't see anything.
Get your binoculars
Get your
out.
binoculars out, son. So yeah, it looks very Drawmer, doesn't it?
It's got
that Drawmer look from the off.
Yeah, as in like Drawmer written across the top.
That does help. And 1976 stereo 3-band saturation and width processor. Ooh. That was bad.
Got to process some width.
Always. Especially with your new muff. Yeah. Anyway. This was always going to be a bad one.
Your new muff can take the width.
Oh, we had to go there, didn't we? Anyway, let's crack on.
Yeah, okay.
Can't even say the word crack now without getting a little bit of a giggle. Anyway, the hardware is a 1U thing. They've split this into like a more useful shape for a plug-in, which I like it when they do that. So along the top, we've got an input. It's got when you're above and below, and then it's got a little LED for when you bang on. You've got a low cut and a high cut, some nice metering for left and right, and also mid and side, because this can run in mid-side mode. A wet dry control, which, as we'll find out later, is vital for this. And then an output.
And for muffs.
Obviously, you need wet dry control. There's a width mode switch, which flips between analog and digital. So digital, it's trying to keep left and right identical. Analog, it's giving you some variance in there. There's a mono check button. Poke that and you get a mono check, which is useful when you're messing around with stereo width stuff. You need to check it's still going to work in mono. And then you've got your 3 bands. You can see you've got your 2 crossover controls. You can change the crossover point on the low from 70 up to 1.5k, and from the mid to the high it goes from 800 to 15k. Really good, that, because it just means you could totally dial in where...
So to clarify, this is so you can saturate 3 different bands. 3
different bands, saturate them and widen them
individually.
Separately, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
And then for each band, starting with the low band, we've got how much saturation. The width from mono to really wide in the middle is where you started. You can push it wide or put it into mono. And then a level control. You've also then got a bypass, which will ignore everything you've done.
Yeah.
You've also separately got a mute, which will just mute that band.
Okay, so you can work on each band individually.
Yeah, it's quite nice. Same
it's
controls.
Interesting. You see, as we've got older, as I've got older, I find my width in the mid range has increased.
Funny that. Well, at least it's like the low range.
Yeah,
that would be weird.
Yeah, if only.
Massive feet. You've got the same controls for the mid band and again for the high band, exactly the same controls. Let's say some things about it first. You'll see a full test at the end of this video. This is a new thing we are starting with. Well, not necessarily this episode, but it's a new thing.
It's a new thing. After how many years? Of
3.5 years of refusing to do tests. It's not that we didn't do the tests. I just didn't want to film them. It was me messing around for hours on end. I'm like, no one wants to see that, really. Anyway, we found a way to do it quickly and make it work. So at the end of this review, you will see a full test. I found it very quick to get some decent results, especially working on masters or on buses. However, I found it did mess with the EQ quite a lot, quite severely. If you saturate any of the bands too much, it really affects the EQ. And it was very over the top. It's quite hard to be subtle with it. So I was having to nudge up the saturate to like 1 or 2 and then use the wet dry control to send like 80% dry through. Otherwise, it's just doing too much.
over the top. But this is the difference between me and you, isn't it?
You love over the top.
You like subtlety.
Yes.
I like over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it can do both, and that's a good thing.
And what did you use it on?
I tried it on Masters to begin with because it's kind of got those controls. It's a very analog looking thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
The way it works. So you can mono up down the bottom. You can set your, everything below 100 maybe. You send it to mono. Saturate a tiny bit. Have to be really careful, otherwise the bottom end, you hear that very obviously.
You don't
when
want the bottom end farting.
Not too much. Sometimes it sounds good, but it was nice to add a tiny little bit of saturation and width to the real high end, and maybe a little bit to the mid, and then just get it to sit just right. And then what you do is you A/B between it on and off, and you think you haven't done much, and then you turn it off and go.
Oh right. See, I can see this backing vocals bus, drum bus.
Yeah. Any of those.
Really useful.
Any of those. Good on the drum bus, especially on a parallel drum bus. You want to give it some real energy, give it a bit of saturation and width, mix it in. Yeah. Nice bit of kit.
Nice bit of saturated width.
There is a lot of saturators out there. We are inundated.
We are. It seems to be. I've started to notice you go through processes and phases. Sorry, go through different phases, like channel strips.
Yeah, the channel strips were all the rage.
Yeah, we have these phases, and we're definitely in a major saturation phase.
Yeah. It's been going a while.
It has been going a while. Yeah.
But it's another one. Whether you pick this one or another one, there's obviously the multiband thing is big.
Yeah, I like the multiband thing.
Yeah, but the price is going to be another thing.
Yes, well, that's what I was about to say. Is the price is going to be the decider. So first of all, is it? Where's it plugging online?
No, it's from Softube. So 20 days. I like their software. So you install their Softube installer thing, and it shows you what demos of yours you've got installed. It shows you which ones you've paid for, and you can install any of their plugins to try them out. It's quite a decent bit of software.
Okay, good. So 20 days full working
20
demo.
days full working demo.
Excellent stuff. And then to purchase, it is. I'm scared about this bit now because it's going to be
€149.
Oh. Foxtrot Oscar.
I saw that coming a mile off. I thought this is a Foxtrot Oscar plugin if ever there was one. Dan's going to say those immortal words. Yeah. It's a lot of money.
It is for a tool like this. I mean, it obviously does a lot. You've said it.
Yeah. But they've tried to make it a bit more interesting. Obviously, it's a real bit of hardware. They've modelled that. You can't. I think when you make a plugin of a piece of hardware, it's kind of your job to give it some extra stuff. Yeah, it's kind of that's a great thing to do.
I mean, there are obviously sound engineers and producers out there with more money to spend on plugins than I do, and
more money than sense. One might argue. Hence the popularity of our show.
Yeah,
we literally just talk about plugins and people keep watching.
Yeah. So, Sean,
the
big question.
Yeah.
Is it shit?
I'm going to say that it's not shit, but it's too expensive.
I think you're going to have to start being a little bit more decisive, judging by the comments that we've just read in the pub.
That's true.
Because we can't keep saying it's not shit, but it's too expensive. If it's too expensive, then it's shit. It's got to have.
I hadn't quite finished, but it is not shit. It does what it says it does, and it does it well.
Yeah.
However, because of that price, and because you can go and buy the Tone Boosters one, which does all of this and more for like 29 quid or something, it has to be shit. It has to be because of the price.
I understand now.
If they had said this was €49, I would have gone, do you know what? That's still a little bit more expensive than some others, but you've put yourself in contention there. That's a winner. But €149 for something that just does saturation and width. I would guess if you've been collecting plugins for any more than 6 months, you've got at least one saturator and at least a couple of plugins that add stereo width. So although this isn't identical to those, you're not getting much more. You're not going to get any new sounds out of it.
No. Okay, good. Well, so the Drawmer wide saturator.
Softube Drawmer 1976.
Yeah, shit.
Little bit shit, I'm afraid.
So stay tuned for the demo so you can hear for yourself.
Yes,
go and download the demo from the Softube website.
Yeah, see for yourself. I mean, I'll try it out. I'll run some stuff through it. You'll see what I mean. But check it out. We still say go and get a demo. It's the best way to know for sure.
Please remember to like the video.
That'd be cool if you could do that, and maybe subscribe to the channel or become a channel member.
We've got an Instagram, Studio Life 101. We've got a full website with loads of stuff, including the ever popular plugin Top 5. Yeah.
Go and have a look at that.
Going really, really well. In fact, we need to look at updating that.
We do need to do that very soon. Yeah. It's coming. It's coming. And also, at some point soon, it might have already happened. We don't know. We're going to do a live stream.
We are going to do a live stream.
So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah. Check out Sean's courses, short courses, and there's links for those below as well. So until next time, sayonara, suckers.
Adios.